Hello and welcome back. If you are new and we have not met, my name is Kate and this is my place. In my place, we do a little bit of planning, cash budgeting, cash stuffing, paying off debt, savings challenges, and so much more as we are building our best life. In today's video, we are going to be going over the first week of November and just checking in. And then I also have kind of some life updates that have been going on that may affect the channel a little bit in the coming months. Hopefully I will not have to worry about it, but if that sounds interesting to you, stick around because we're going to be getting right into the video. Happy Thursday, everybody. So we, like I said in the intro, are going to be doing our check-in for week one. And as you can see, I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently this month. We're changing it up, seeing if that helps me in regards to my awareness. And then I also have some life updates that not only are affecting my life, but it could potentially affect some of my video posting. Not that I'm extremely consistent with my video posting. It's something I'm working on. So I will get into that at the end. And so I'm going to go ahead. We are going to review the spending, close out the week one budget, and see how we did. So first off, like I said, I'm changing up how we go over my spending. I normally go through all of the transactions, but this month I'm going to try something new. So we are going to kind of track and highlight our expenses together so that we can see what was actually budgeted for and what was not budgeted for. So our week one ran through the 1st to today, the 7th. So we are closing out today. And for the start of the week, we started off with eating out. My son wanted Culver's, and he was going to pay, and then he ended up not paying. So I have not been budgeting that into our budget, so I think that's something I'm going to change moving forward because life is getting busier now that the holidays are around. Saturday, my son and I went kind of out shopping to get some things. So I did do some spending for both him and I, and that was $24. And then in regards to spending, I also did a Five Below, and I got this really cute acrylic stand for my computer, and that was $6. So those two items were, so this one falls into the household spending, which / supplies, which I did have in the budget. This one I pulled from mine and my son's spending. So it was not unbudgeted spending because I had budgeted for some spending in the budget. And then also at Marshall's, my son loves some popcorn that they have there, so we picked up popcorn, and then I've also picked up some syrup for my coffee in the morning. And then I forgot to add this category on the side. I stopped at Dollar Tree to get some more of the household products that we needed, household supplies. So I'm going to add this over here. And that's going to be like household supplies / spending. So that was Saturday. And then Sunday, we had kind of a spendy day. I did my grocery shopping along with some other things. So in regards to groceries, we went to Kroger, and I spent $36 at Kroger for groceries. We went to Aldi's, and that was $88. And then Costco, I spent $60 towards our groceries. And then next we have my son got some gloves at Costco, so that's under spending for his job because he works outside. And we also needed some health products. So obviously I don't have a color for that, so that's just going to go under spending. But I have been dealing with some skin breakdown after my surgery, and I needed to pick up some like first aid supplies, so that's what that was for. And then I did have an unbudgeted / impulsive buy at Kroger. I found a candle that I really liked, and it was on sale. First, it's like $13.99 plus tax, and it is so pretty when it's all lit up. And I've been having to burn candles a lot lately. And then at Costco, I also had to pick up my allergy medicine, and that was $16 in our spending category. We had a miscellaneous expense, an application fee for $27. This is some of what I'm going to be talking to you about and updating you about at the end of the video. Along with, so these two eating out items are connected to what we have going on in our lives. So my son and I went and had breakfast at Panera, and then we had grabbed a snack at Wendy's because we couldn't be in our home at the time. And again, I'll get into that at the end of the video. So Sunday was a little bit of a spendy day. Monday, my impulse kicked in, and I ended up having $25 in in-app purchases from Apple. Tuesday, we had a no spend day. And then Wednesday, again, in-app purchases. I was shocked that I had spent $48. I have to stop myself. I have to figure out how to gain some control here, because that's ridiculous. $48 on in-app spending is ridiculous. And then I picked up a few things at Dollar General on my way home from therapy that we needed at the house. I use water enhancers for my water to help me hit my water goals every day, and the Dollar General that I went to has the best selection in my area. And then I have my copay that I paid, which was budgeted. So all in all, it wasn't horrible, but I did have a few unbudgeted things here and there. So it is definitely different to see it in this view, to see kind of where my spending is. I can definitely tell that I need to do something on the weekends that does not involve shopping, because that's where a lot of my spending is coming into play. So that is definitely something to think about. Maybe I just need to get a part-time job. Maybe that'll be the answer. I don't know. So I am now going to transition from the calendar overview into our week 1 budget, so we can get that closed out and see how we did and how much we're going to be potentially rolling over into week 2. So hold on one moment. I will be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Took me a minute to get everything all cleaned up and ready to go. So in regards to our budget, our income, our salary was the $15.13. Dash income, we actually came in under. We came in at $278. Our rollover and our other this week ended up being $823. We had a couple returns that I had to do, so that got added into our rollover from October. And then I ended up having to pull a little bit of extra money from savings to kind of balance out the lack in our dash, and because I made a few impulsive spends. So our total pulled from savings was $711, which brings our total income for the week to $3,325. Our rent was a little bit higher at $1,424. DTE was the $156. Home site was the $128. Canva came out at its normal $16, and iStorage was the $10, which brings our expenses for the week to $1,600. $16.34. And then when I subtracted the $16.34 from our income of $33.25, that left us with $16.91 to work with. Our credit card payments did come in right at $226. Our 4-pay payments were a little bit higher at $332. We're not going to talk about it because it frustrates me to no end. I can't tell you how much it frustrates me. Because I'm just going to say it ain't me. It's not me. My impulsiveness is coming right now from my in-app purchases and my weekend cash spending. So, yeah, that's frustrating to me. And then due to the things that we're going to talk about at the end of the video, I had to move the extra debt money as of right now to a different, I don't know why I just wrote that. We had to shift with that. I may shift back depending on how everything goes. And like I said, we'll get into that a little bit more at the end of the video. So our total debt for the week ended up coming to $558. And when subtracted from our leftover of $16.91, that left us with $1,133 to work with. Our gas this week ended up being $93. Our groceries, we were a little bit over budget at $214. Spending, we were over budget by $48. And then our miscellaneous came to $33. And then we need to add in, or I need to add in, eating out. And I spent a total of $47 on eating out. This brings our total for our living expenses to $535. And when I subtracted that from our leftover of $1133, that gave us a total of $598. My copay was $25. In regards to our household supplies or spending, I spent $31. And then for medical, I spent $16 on the allergy medicine. Health, which was our first aid kit, not kit, but first aid supplies that were needed for the house, were $34. My kiddo, his came to $26. And then my spending came to $10. And this was the spending that I did on that Saturday. That does not include my in-app purchases. Which brings our total for our spending in our funds to $142. When I subtract the $142 from the $598, that leaves me a total of $456. We ended up putting $227 into challenges. Our rollover in the bank is going to be $172. Going into our $1 challenge is going to be $4, and we'll get to the wallet here in a minute. Nothing going back to the bank. And then my cash cushion, which is a new category, is going to be $48. So that brings our total to $451. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put our totals for all my categories in the summaries box, add them up, and the goal is to have the total of the summaries box match the total of our income. So I'm going to go ahead, get that written in, calculated, and then we'll come back and see how much we are plus, minus, or if we're even. So I will be right back. All right, so our total came up to $33.20. Our income was $33.25. It's $5 off. It's very possible that that $5 is the change to savings and the change that I have in my wallet. So because I don't count the change, so there's always going to be a little bit of wiggle room. So let's real quick see what we have going on in the wallet, and I will kind of explain this extra category that we have here. So after pulling some money from the cash savings, I decided that I want to always have kind of like a backup buffer in my wallet. And so the $48 is what was left from what I pulled from the cash savings, and it's going to just stay in my wallet. And if there's ever a time where we need something, I'm going to just kind of pull it out of that buffer. So we have our receipts here. Those will get scanned in to our rewards app later. And then y'all, we have the change. I have a handful of change. I am going to count it off to the side. Like, this could easily be where a majority of that $5 is, just in change. Could totally just be right here in my hand, and it's heavy. So this will get counted up when I do my budget with me, and we look at the no spend savings challenge and get that rolling. So our wallet is empty, and groceries, like I said, I overspent a little bit on groceries, so there's no money left there. I used my copay. I do have some money left here, that $4 to go into our $1 savings, and I will do that also when I do my budget for week 2 and do my different little savings challenges there. So there's that $4. And now our wallet is all cleaned out and ready to roll for the second week of November, which brings me to my life updates. So I live in an apartment complex, and we've been here for 2.5 years now. And about a year ago, we started having some issues with secondhand smoke smell in our home. We are not smokers. I actually am very sensitive to secondhand smoke, and I have a lot of like sinus issues that flare up when I am exposed to it for prolonged periods of time. So we've been going back and forth with our property management, and we have put, filtration in our home that exceeds what they already have here. And last week, I walked out into my living room after waking up feeling congested, which isn't abnormal, but it was a little bit worse than normal. And when I walked out into the living room, all I could smell was cigarette smoke. So what it boils down to is the only thing that our property management company can do is allow us to transfer to a different apartment unit. They cannot tell our neighbors what they can and cannot do in their unit in regards to smoking. Obviously, common sense would be to crack a window or, do things like that. And I honestly don't have an issue with people smoking. My issue is being knowledgeable that there's a health issue connected to it, and because we share walls, the smoke seeps into our home when the other home is not properly ventilated. And it's now in our furnace and in our ducts. So I have to move. So we are going to have to pack up our home. We have to see if we can get approved for the apartment that we're going to be moving into, because it's a larger apartment. So they have to reevaluate our finance to make sure that we can financially afford to be in that unit, which I'm not opposed to, because it's going to actually be good for me, because I'm going to then be able to have an office. I'm currently in a 2-bedroom. We're going to go to a 3-bedroom. We need the extra storage space. I need an office space where I can do my 9 to 5 and not have interruptions, and where I can do my YouTube stuff. So I'm not against that. We knew that we were looking to upgrade into a 3-bedroom for that purpose, because my boyfriend and I both work from home at times, and we're here together. So we sometimes need that separate space. So my biggest issue with it is that we are having to be uprooted from where we're at because of somebody else's choices. So not only is that going to affect the budget, but it's also affecting our lives, our health. So, and it's going to potentially affect my ability to get my videos recorded and out when it comes to that moving period, because I'm going to be very busy between work, the holidays, packing, moving, all the things. So, there's that. And then I have been having a lot of behavioral issues with my youngest son, and that's been weighing on me. So it's just, life has been very chaotic, and I feel like there's certain days where my life is imploding. And I know there's others in the world that are experiencing not just the same thing, but potentially worse things. So I do try to keep that in mind, and I try to stay as positive as possible, but there's times where it's really difficult. So if there's times where you don't see my videos post as much, or if I seem not as perky, or if my life seems a little bit more chaotic than normal, it's just because we have some transitional periods coming up where we're going to be transitioning, and I will get back to normal. We'll get there. So, but that's my conclusion today. So, yeah, if you stuck with me throughout this entire video and you're still hanging with me, you are a rock star. If you could please let me know down in the comments with your favorite star emoji, I would greatly appreciate it. If you like today's video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you would like to continue following my Hot Mess Express of a journey, then please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so that you can get notified whenever I post. And I hope that you all have a truly blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye.